and welcome back to the Inspo Pod with me, Bethany. Today we've got the lovely Charlotte Brown, who is someone I met previously through work, but is very, very inspirational to me. Very busy, absolute queen, love her. So yeah, I guess tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, hi Bethany. Lovely to see you again. I
Hello.
love that I'm named as inspirational and busy. I agree. Very inspirational, very busy. But yeah, I mean, I'm Charlotte. Nice to meet you all. I'm 26 years old. I live in London, and I'm currently head of live experiences for the coffee festivals in Europe. I mean, what
Amazing.
else do you want to know, Bethany? Just ask me all the questions.
No, that was amazing. I love like the formal intro, the age,
No, I don't know any
location.
other.
No, that's great. And we'll get on to a little bit about the coffee festival because I think it's so fab. Having attended it myself, I think it's brilliant. But yeah, first of all, what are you drinking? Because we always have a little drinky on the
Okay,
pod.
so you have gone for wine. I've gone for another form of beverage. I've got an iced coffee. I think I've put a
Beautiful.
little bit of vanilla syrup in there. And it's with a very large glass that I may or may not have stole from a pub because I thought it looked pretty.
I love that. What brand is that glass? That's so
Actually, I have
cute.
no idea. Oh no, it's a really long name. Staro Pramen. Hmm.
I love that.
Staro Pramen? Have you heard
I'll
of Staro Pramen?
no.
It was established in Prague, so that
Amazing. I'll find it and I'm gonna write it below the video for the
find
listeners.
it, order one,
Just in
and then
case, because
seal it up.
it's fab. It's like a beer glass.
It is a big glass. I
There we
just
go.
it looked really pretty. I thought, oh, hang on a minute, this would look nice for some iced coffee. So I put it in my
Wow.
bag.
It looks great. It looks great. I love that. Well, I'm on the Merlot, so slightly different vibe, but here we are.
Lovely. So you're going to be really relaxed, then I'm going to be really buzzed, basically, throughout this whole
Great.
podcast.
It's gonna
Fantastic.
be great. It's gonna be great. Um, so yeah, so let's talk about how we met because we met through work and then we'll get on to your current work as well. So yeah, we met, you were actually my client, weren't you?
I was. God, it's so not often I'm a client for somebody. But yes, we worked through a previous agency that I used to work at,
Yes.
and a previous job that I used to work at as well. And I always
Yeah.
remember when we met up for a coffee once and we went for a little walk, and I feel like we were both going through, I've written in my notes, both had a bit of a, and then in the sparkles, quarter life crisis about our
Yeah.
jobs and the direction where they were going. And then I put in brackets, haha.
No,
So yeah.
that's definitely correct. Yeah, it was a great chat though, and I feel like at that time you definitely inspired me as well, which is why, I wanted you on this podcast because I feel like even then you were doing so many great things in and out of work. But yeah, and now you're doing, can we say even better?
Oh, I don't know. First of all, thank you very much. Not often you think of yourself as inspirational. You're like, oh, that's really nice. So that's lovely to hear. And I'm really
Yeah,
glad that any conversations that we've had before has like really helped and everything. But yeah,
yeah,
I'd say I feel like a lot's happened this year as well. Like I've moved house, I've moved to an area where I really, really love, never thought I could kind of live before. I have a garden, which in London is like a big deal.
so
Uh,
rare.
I know, right? So I feel like yeah, I can finally see a lot of the hard work that I've had to do previously kind of start paying off. Balls started to roll, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's been years and years and years of grafting and very much still grafting, but maybe just with a garden now.
Grafting in the garden.
In the garden. Yeah, it's
No, I
win-win.
love that. I feel like you've like evolved and we're all evolving and it's great. But I think that's the thing in life. You put work in, don't you, for years and years. And then when it all finally kind of you start to get the rewards, it feels really, really good. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And it's not just about financial rewards, it's not just personal rewards, it's just all of a sudden you kind of like almost look up from your mountain of work and you're like, wow, actually, like this is kind of what I want to do. I'm actually really happy right now. And it feels
Yeah.
nice, especially from freelancing for a long, long, long time. The steadiness of being able to be in a job that you love is like, oh, wow, this is really nice now.
Yeah, I love that. It's not just like you say, the physical rewards, it's that kind of sense of achievement as well, isn't it? And I think it's really important sometimes to kind of stop and just look back like a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, and go, oh my God, look how far
Definitely.
I've come.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm probably the worst person to say that, and I never do it. So even this just now, this conversation feels really nice. It feels like a nice acknowledgement to be like, yeah,
Oh,
like I have done a good job. Let me tell you about it.
oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Okay, well, I guess in terms of talking more about you then, talk to me a little bit about kind of outside of work, because last time we spoke, you were doing anything and everything outside of work. And I thought, oh my God, this girl is so busy. She does so much. It's incredible. And it really gave me a push to even just for me to get up in the morning and go to the gym. I was like, oh my God, if Charlotte could do all of this, this, and this, I can at least get my ass out the house
Oh
in the
my
morning.
gosh, that is
So
hilarious.
outside of work, what kind of things do you do? Like, tell me all of
Oh,
your
okay.
passion.
Well, I'm a hobby girl. That's
Yeah.
like through and through. Love a bit of arts and craft, love a bit of just doing things. So I guess because my work, no matter what it is very high stress. I always
Yeah.
need a lot of hobbies, a lot of things to do. So what can I say that I do? So go out with a lot of friends, love a themed night, themed moment. So an example, my birthday this year, I'm hosting like a booze and bouquet, like a wine tasting and like
Oh,
floral arranging. It's so
wow.
it's not just because it's my birthday. I just thought it'd be so nice to like get people together. It's nice to celebrate that I've got a garden. And then I like to do lots of like pottery painting, crafting.
Wow.
Last year I did a lot of dance with Curve Catwalk. Trina is like a fantastic teacher. I think she used to dance. She danced for Lizzo at Glastonbury like a few years ago, which was
That's
when I heard her, I
amazing.
was like, oh my gosh. So lots of kind of like activities like that. And then my main
Yeah.
one at the moment, which I'm super, super proud of, is that I do aerial hoop. So I've been doing it for about a year.
Wow.
And like I'm just very proud. The strength it takes is a lot. It's very tiresome, but I do like a 2 hour class on a Thursday. It's really near me, but my teacher is just absolutely fantastic. And I feel like as a bigger woman, you just don't often you don't feel like you have the opportunities to like go out and put yourself upside down on a hoop in the air and things. But yeah, I need something that really pushes me out of my comfort zone, not just in work, but in life. So, yeah, even like yesterday was my first time, like I was going upside down and did a trick that I wanted to do for ages. So, yeah,
Wow.
need something like that to really push me and make me feel uncomfortable, I guess.
That's amazing, though. I do think in life, when you're out of your comfort zone, that's when the magic happens. And I think
Definitely.
all women as well, we all get scared of doing, new physical things. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I think it's
Yeah.
amazing you're doing that. I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
I think there's
So
a lot of, like
well done.
stigma and bravery about what you can and can't do. And it's not just about
Yeah.
how big you are as a person. It's about, if you're confident enough to do this, if you want to do that. But yeah, the more intimidating it is, the more I kind of want to prove a point to myself and to other people
Yeah.
that go to the studio and be like, yeah, like I'm here, I'm going to also do this. And yeah,
Yeah, amazing.
definitely.
That's so cool. And I feel like that's going to give so many women listening as well a little confidence boost. So that's great. Would you mind as well just repeating, just for everybody, the name of the dance class or
Yeah.
company?
So it's called Curve Catwalk.
Oh,
And
wow.
they
Okay.
used to do sessions in like near Tottenham Court Road. I think they've moved, but I think they've also expanded. So they have a few different classes each week. But yeah, she's absolutely incredible. She does a lot of work with Nike as well. So there's always
Wow.
like classes available for you to go to and try. But it just gives you the absolute confidence you need just to like have a dance. You don't need to be curvy or anything like that to participate, but it's just really
Amazing.
helpful for women who are looking for something kind of fun to do and to move their body and just to jiggle. That's the place to go.
Amazing. Oh my God, I love that curve catwalk. Got it. And are you able to share with us where you do this aerial hoop thing?
Absolutely, yes. So it's called Aircraft Circus, and it's,
Wow.
I guess,
Okay.
in Woolwich. It's in between like Greenwich and Woolwich, but it's so highly recommended by me. I reached out when I was first thinking about doing it. I reached out to a lot of companies that did aerial hoop classes, and I sent them a
Yeah.
list. So I also last year got my side note, my kayaking like discovery qualification with my friend.
Yes.
So random, but I
Amazing.
love a challenge. But they were the same. I basically just write an email and being like, look, I'm a size 22. Am I able to do this? What do you think about this? Do you cater for bigger women? This is clearly like a very vigorous skill. It needs to have the strength. What do you think? And like above all, Aircraft Circus was like the best reply out of them all. They were very welcoming, very engaging. They were like, yeah, this is truly, truly for beginners. Come along. And then the instructors from there, like, you're on your own little hoop, you can do your own thing, you're never made to feel uncomfortable. Like, if you're a complete brand new beginner, you can just go and have a really good time. So I found Aircraft Circus are like the best for that.
Amazing. Aircraft circus. That sounds fantastic. I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, brilliant. So you're literally my inspiration. I feel like even after recording this, I'm going to go away and be like, right, what can I do?
It's just nice. And I feel like it's very,
Yeah,
like, for your inner child, what do you want to do? Like, what do you like? And being able, and, it's such a great thing to be in London, to be based there. They've got 12 different options for a hobby that you want to do. So you'll always
yeah,
have the choice to kind of to pick. But yeah, love a bit of water sports. That was always really good fun. Anything like that. Did ice
amazing.
skating for a little bit as well with my friend. Just to
Wow.
try. I know, just anything really, just to keep you busy.
You are fabulous. I mean, this year, all I've done is learn to ride a bike, which is going to make me sound really
That's
pathetic.
amazing. No, that's incredible. Also, that must be so difficult as an adult to like learn.
Yeah.
What did
So
you do?
I
What was your technique?
so basically I have ridden a bike before as like a child, maybe up until the age of about 6 and then never again. So it's kind of been a fear of mine. And it's been one of those
Mm,
things where you walk up to a bike and you think, should I, shouldn't I? The anxiety gets to you and you go, absolutely not, I'm going to fall off.
yeah.
Because I don't own a bike, so I've been using, obviously we're quite lucky in London, we have those kind of bikes that you can just pick up and hire and, pick them up, pop them back wherever. And I tried an electric bike first of all, big mistake.
Oh no.
Because of course, if you can ride a bike, they're super useful. They go quicker, they get you from A to B a lot faster, they pick up the momentum. But if you're a learner and it's not something that comes naturally, I was like, oh my God, this is way too fast. I'm gonna die. So I went for the old-fashioned, pedal bikes, the Boris bikes, as they call them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just started off, just doing a little ride around the block. I think it's £1.65 just for 20 minutes. So did that. And then just from there, it's kind of grown. And it's been my thing of, right, every week, find time to just do a little bike ride. And yeah, every time I do it, I get more confident. So it's great. It's not quite on your level, but
What are you even talking about? That's incredible. Even just finding like 20 minutes for yourself to go for a bike ride. That's very
yeah,
mindful. It's a bit of active. It gives you some thinking time. That's incredible.
yeah.
I don't want to hear that again. That's very good.
It's so embarrassing though, as you say, like as an adult. And I think in London, especially where we are, everyone's riding a bike. There's on the commute to work, I see millions of people on bikes. And I just think, oh my God, all of these people can ride a bike. Some of them with one hand, some of them are on the phone. And I'm like, I can barely even get around the block.
Gripping on both handles for dear life.
Yeah. So yeah, so it is an achievement. Do you know what? It's an achievement. We're getting
100%.
there.
I'll make you a little certificate actually. That's why I like to do things as well. When we did the
Oh,
kayaking, we got like a certificate and I 100% printed it off. I don't know where it is now. I'm going to make you a certificate to say you can officially ride a bike.
oh, that's amazing. Oh, great. I love that. I'll get a gold star as well.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it. I love it. No, I think as you said, it's super, super important to find the time every week, just to do something for yourself, whether it's learning something new or, a bit of exercise, learning a new skill, whatever it might be. I think it's so important because we can get so swept up in the busyness of life,
Absolutely.
especially
Yeah.
for myself and yourself, the line of work that we both kind of put ourselves in.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but it's so important. So yeah, let's get on to your job. So tell me all about the coffee festival.
So, okay, well, again, where do I start? I think, oh, let me have a little think. Where do I start? Let me look at my notes. I feel like like my introduction, I just roll this off of my tongue every meeting that I'm in, everything like that. So stop me if I sound too robot here. But basically,
Go for
for the
it.
coffee festivals, I started as a stage manager for a competition called Coffee Masters, and that was in London, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And
Yep.
then just from there, I got kind of employed by London Coffee Festival to work on their features with them and kind of help with production. I previously have like a background in theatre and a lot of like stage management and producing
Yep.
from there. So it seemed like a really good cross, like a bridge over to events. So I always thought that I would have my life in theatre and that would be it. But when I got the taste of like the events world and how that can also be, I guess, for a consumer's enjoyment, I was like hooked. Like that was it. Never thought I'd fall into the world of coffee, but really, really love it. Very
But we love a
interesting.
coffee. We love
I
coffee.
love coffee. That's the thing. I've always known I've liked
It's
coffee,
great.
so I guess that's my qualification already. But yeah, the people, the community, and like honestly, just the passion that people have in coffee, I just it's amazing. Like I'll never be able to understand their level of like how much they know, but what I
Yeah.
can hopefully do is kind of produce and create some events and some features that people can engage with and can enjoy. So it feels really nice to feel like I'm even just the tiniest moment for people to come together, be together, have an interesting topic or an interesting conversation, and then they might get something out of it. So I oversee now. I'm head of live experiences, so I oversee the production of the events and the programming of all of the features across Europe. So
Wow.
we work with Paris, Milan, and Amsterdam, and then we also have other kind of more B2B events in Berlin. So nice little range
That's
of
amazing.
places, very nice cities, very beautiful locations. Really love traveling, getting the opportunity to kind of like go and try all the different restaurants when I'm out there. We also
Yeah.
plug in with a lot of like local teams. So like for example, in Amsterdam, we use a fantastic production company who you just feel like, oh, you just link up with, and you just know your job and your life is going to be just so much easier for the next few months and things. So
Oh,
really enjoy
that's good.
working with like local partners and suppliers, and then obviously getting to program and produce new coffee competitions. So we had Coffee Masters, we've got Roast Masters, and we've now launched the European Barista Cup. So it's a brand new coffee competition,
Wow.
and we're launching it in Berlin this year. And it's been so surreal that I was a stage manager on Coffee Masters and then helped to produce it. And then
Yeah.
now we're like helping to create another new competition, hopefully for baristas and for roasters. We've just, yeah, it seems like it's going to be a really cool event.
That's amazing. Wow. I love that. And honestly, coffee is such an art. I feel like baristas, you know,
Yeah,
it's like an art craft for some people. It really is.
really.
Um, and I love coffee. So tell us a producer event. So what how does that work? Like what does that encompass if you produce an event? Like give me an overview of like what your day to day.
I mean, day to day, no day's different. I think it
Yeah.
depends in what aspect of the events world you work in. So I really love the one I'm in at the moment where you've got kind of 4 or 5 events each year. Your timelines are pretty clear. 6 months before you'd probably start your kickoff and your pre-production there. And then while
Yeah.
you're closing another, you're probably starting the next one as well. I love the overlap of, so we have like Amsterdam and Paris events quite close together. So most of the time you're only like a month ahead of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Whereas previously I've worked on shows that you'd literally have 30 concerts a week um, with previous company, and
Crazy.
you find that you're almost trying to chase your tail quite a lot, and you don't have a lot of control. Whilst you work with a brilliant, massive team, you don't feel like
Yeah.
you've got that kind of creative direction for your
Yeah.
events. So, I mean, it can be anything from logistics and operations. It's for programming, it's a lot of kind of research and scheduling, interviewing people. I love talking to people. I'm not sure if you guessed. But I
Same.
love same. I love having conversations with people. Sometimes it's quite intimidating, especially for like B2B events. I don't know a huge amount. Like I'm not, when I'm doing programming for like a latte art live competition, fantastic. I think we did a one where you had to do boobs, draw boobs on a latte,
Oh,
right up my
wow.
street. Of course that came
Great.
from mine. But when it's a case of like B2B businesses and what buyers want to focus and how the cacao chain is, the supply is the direction of deforestation and things like that, it's not my expertise, of course, but when I can talk to people and interview people and say, okay, well, what would you like to hear? You want to focus on this? Great. It's great that I can then program that into our events, into our features, and make sure everyone's kind of voices and opinions get heard along with, our kind of company focus too. So then that's programming. For production, it's a lot of working with suppliers, making sure you've got kind of a really solid budget, that you're sticking to it, you're negotiating, which I love a bit of haggling. And then a lot of scheduling. So I guess you just need a good keen eye for detail.
Yeah.
Like customer experience, customer journey is really important, and just putting yourself in their shoes. And even if it literally takes going down to site and walking from the tube to the venue, just so
Yeah.
you can like, okay, well, would I stop here for a coffee? Would I go here? What if we put an activation in this coffee shop to then draw you over to here? And it's about kind of having that bird's eye view and thinking of the things that no one else will think of until after the event. You need to think
Yeah.
of it before the event and put it in practice, kind of thing. And not saying I do that every time, but that's always what I try to do as best
Yeah.
as I can.
That's great. You've got so much going on, honestly. You're such a busy
So
girl. But you're so, even when you're talking about it though, you're so passionate about what you do, and I think that really comes across. Um, but it is hard because I feel like the world of events is not easy. Like even you just talking about, and I know from working in events myself, what you've just talked about is like top line. There's so much else
yeah,
around
absolutely.
all of that. And even that itself just sounds so stressful. So it's so amazing that you have the time outside of that to, really do your own thing and keep up with your hobbies. I think it's fantastic.
I think I
I
have
love it.
to force myself to have the time. So I agree. Like it's very
Yeah.
stressful. You need to find something that you like doing to have the motivation to kind of keep doing it. I think when people join events and they think, okay, right, I'm going to do this and this, they're often kind of taken back by the amount of, I almost say it's like pressure, and it's the time
Yeah.
scales. Whilst we think, oh, great, I'll do this in a week, actually, by the time you put it through, put it up to management, got it back, put it in a deck and put it to client, you've got about 30 minutes to find a quote to get that
Yeah.
approved, get it sent off. So
Exactly.
it can be quite pressurizing. I definitely am not speaking that I'm good at that either. Like
You
I
are.
feel pressure quite a lot. I feel, you know, when things are happening so fast, you want to do the best job possible. It's really hard to take yourself out of it. Like no one's
Yeah.
dying, you're not saving lives, you are just putting on an event. Like of course it's important, but you have to kind of put the perspective of other things around you. But it's
Yeah.
easier said than done. Sometimes it's so hard to not be like, oh god, like if I haven't done this, I haven't done that. But actually you can't take it personally. You've got to do the
Yeah.
business and that motivation of what you're enjoying out of it.
Yeah, exactly. You've really got to have a keen eye for detail as well. There's so many details involved in anything in the events world. But like you said, and I was going to get onto this as well, a little bit of like advice, kind of like a tip for anything in life, I guess, is sometimes just taking a step back and saying, right, we're not doing heart surgery.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
going to be fine. And sometimes you do just have to make a snap decision. and I know for myself personally, in and out of work, I'm really bad. I'm such an overthinker. I'll say,
Yeah.
all right, okay, I'll spend 12 hours and I'll go back and forth. I'll make a pros and cons list. I'll do this. And I'm really trying to just say, no, what you're going to do is you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yes or no, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, left
Yeah,
or right, and just go with it, you know? And I think you really need that in the events world for sure. Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, okay, let's talk about, have you got any funny stories from your work? Because I think, you're so inspirational, but it's nice to have a little giggle every now and then.
I'm not sure. Mm, I can't think. Give me like a topic. Give me a what have other
Oh,
people said?
okay. Maybe it doesn't have to be from your current role, maybe your last role where you worked alongside me. It could be anything really, any kind of anything that went wrong. Oh, go
I
on,
okay,
she's
I
got
do have a
one.
funny story. I've got
She's
one.
got one, guys.
So it's not a funny story about me. It's a funny
That's
story
fine.
about my partner, actually. So when I did my first ever job outside of university, it was a freelance stage management position. It was like a fringe production at the Hen and Chickens Theatre in Highbury in Islington, but it was like a big deal. Like it was so important. They had a stage manager before, but I think for some reason I had to step in and found myself dealing with having to op a show for sound and lighting and
Yeah.
do the projection. But I didn't know how to do any of this before. Like, when it flashes back of like all the university courses where if I just paid attention to how to like operate a lighting, I would not be in this
If
position.
I just listened.
Um, and I remember being right, okay, right, I can probably just manage sound and lighting. Like, I'll be fine. I was originally going into theatre to be like a director, like an assistant director. Didn't
Yeah.
even think about stage management. But this is like my first thing I was chucked in. I was like, I can't disappoint everybody. I will need to find someone who can do projection. And the only person I could think of was Will, my boyfriend, who works in film. So I was like, Will, I need to keep this job. You're going to have to come and op this show with me. So my first ever show, it was just, oh my God. And the projector was like, it was like mapped on a fridge, but it would never work. It was like one of those shows you just feel sick, like watching. It was so cringy because everything kept going wrong. And this poor projector was wrong. Like the venue didn't provide the correct one. Like we should have just cut the video. We truly should have just cut. And I just remember like upping the show and being like, wow, this is great. Like I'm having the best time. Like I'm kind of stress free. I really like stress. I can ride this wave of the stress. And I'm like, wow, like this is what people must feel like, right? And then I just turned to the side and Will's just like having an absolute meltdown. Like he's completely like drenched in sweat. He's like, I can't work this out. I can't do this. Like I press this and it's not working. I'll press that. The projector would be like breaking. Absolutely not his fault in the slightest. Truly just should not have been part of the show. But I do remember thinking like, oh, okay, like I feel fine. Like I think I can ride this wave of this stress and
Yeah.
thinking actually I'm really enjoying stage management and I'm really enjoying that kind of side of things and the technical side. But it was a really nice moment to share with Will to be able to say, okay, right, well, we've done a show together, we've actually worked together. And I think he got
Oh,
like 50 quid or something for it, which I think is so sweet. I don't think I got much more to be honest. But yeah, I always remember that's like my first ever job and it was so stressful. I had to bring this boy in to come and help me, and we were both just cringing at how awful this show was going. But yeah, it went well, and then I got more stage management jobs from it. So yeah,
great. Oh, that's so funny. I feel like I know that feeling so well when you get somewhere and then you realize you actually don't know what you're doing and you're like, oh my God. Like that feeling of, what do I do? But
I even get it
clearly,
now. Truly,
yeah. But clearly you learnt from it. And like, I feel like those experiences at the beginning really help because that, like you say, you learnt that you could handle the stress. You're like, I got this, it's fine. I know the amount of stress I can manage now. And it kind of sets you up.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I think the
Sometimes
mistakes are so important. Not that it was a mistake, but you know?
even just putting yourself out of your comfort zone and being like, okay, well, I can't do this, but let's just give it a go.
Yeah,
And I even
yeah,
remember like a few jobs after that when I was like, okay, well, stage management's clearly something I really enjoy and I'm quite good at. They would often then think that you could then operate a desk and do the AV. So then I thought, okay, well, clearly I need to learn this now as well. And you'd kind of build yourself up. But even on site now, if like an exhibitor comes up to me or a supplier, there's sometimes like a queue of people wanting to like ask you questions. I think, oh God, this time I'm just not going to know the answer. Like I know they're going
yeah,
to ask, I don't know. And then you're asking like, oh yeah, of course, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. You're like, God, I can't actually believe that I knew the answer to that. And you
yeah.
kind of surprise yourself each job of how much you do learn and how much you do take from it to then kind of use that experience to advise other people.
Yeah, definitely. And I've said this with previous guests as well that, I don't know if you feel this same way, but everything you kind of do throughout your life, whether it's like mistakes that you make or jobs that you do or little passions that you have on the side, I feel like they all kind of lead you somewhere. And it's funny when you look back and you go, oh my God, I did that one thing and I learned that thing and that's
Yeah,
helping me now. And it all kind of, I don't know, if you, I feel like if you follow your passion, you follow your heart and you kind of, go with where your heart's leading you, it all kind of somehow gets down the right path. Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
Absolutely. No, it's funny because I've got a note here. So the job that I'm in now, I can literally trace it back to the first ever, like, I wrote these emails. I was a part of the Young Vic Directors Program. It's just like a network of people.
Okay.
And I remember I wrote like 500 emails out to these directors or just anyone that was on the network. And I was like, look, I've just come out of university. I would love experience. I'll do whatever you want, please. Just
Yeah.
someone, I'll work for free. I just want the experience to put on my CV. And out of all those emails, only 3 people replied. And the
Oh,
first one was actually that first ever job that I told you about with the projector.
yeah.
And the second and third are like really good friends of mine. I can literally trace every single job back to those 2 emails. So
Wow.
one was in a theatre at Head Rot Holiday, which was a play by Sarah Daniels. Then it moved on to another theatre, working there. I met them through doing a game show, got through to an agency, and then went and met someone there who then asked me to be a stage manager for Coffee Masters. So
Wow.
literally trace
Full
back my
circle.
yeah. So it feels really good that you just have to keep following the route of the things that make you really happy to then hopefully end up somewhere that you're also really happy as well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Full circle. I love it. Girl, we're smashing it. Okay, so I'd love for you to tell us your favorite inspirational quote for life, like a quote that you live by. What's your
So
go-to?
it was an easy answer. It's not a quote as such, it's a song.
Okay,
Um, so this was
right.
like, I remember the first time I heard this song was I was on a tube with no signal, like just listening to like a playlist that I've had for ages. I have no idea how this song got on here, that it was downloaded with no signal, but it just came to me at like the perfect moment. It was when I was going through, it was like a really hard job. It was very challenging. It was a lot of like personal beliefs that were being challenged. Like I had to kind of make a decision if I wanted to continue. And then a song called Talk It Up by Sammy Ray and the Friends came on. And
Okay.
I just adore it. Like it's everything. It's the best song. I wrote down a few of like the quotes. It's I got fire in my blood, I've got sugar on my skin. It's very
Wow.
like motivational, very kind of like you're powerful, like you just got to talk it up. Like you're the only one that can do this. Talk yourself
Yeah.
up, just talk it up. And I started writing it like on top of notebooks, or like if I've got a really important meeting, it's just very therapeutic to like write the word, just talk it up. So I
Yeah.
guess that's like that's kind of my motivational quote. Talk it up, just got to talk it up, like you're the only one that can do it. So really do
That's
recommend
great.
it. And it's really, really good.
I'm gonna listen to that song after. I've never heard it, but I'm gonna
It's
play it.
fun.
So it's called Talk It Up. Great. I love it. Because I feel like that's so important to talk yourself up because who, like you say, who else is going to do that
Who
for
else is
you?
going to do it? Yeah. Talk up what you believe. Like
Yeah.
if you're the only one in the rooms that believes it, if you can talk it up, like people will listen. You just have to do it for you and do it for the right reasons. So yeah,
Wow. That's
truly
so
such a good
true.
song. Yeah. And fun fact, I the first ever time I wrote Talk It Up, I got it blown up really small and I have it as a tattoo on my foot.
Oh, I love that.
It's a reminder to always talk it up.
That's great. And do you know what? I really like relate to having Spotify on, especially sometimes I just do this if I am just feeling a little bit blah. Just put Spotify on, especially on the tube, like you say, when you've got no signal, and just go on all of your songs that you've downloaded over the years and just put it on random and just see what comes up. And it's
Yeah,
so funny what songs just throw themselves at you,
yeah,
like out of the
100%.
blue. And you're like, oh
Yeah,
my God. Sometimes like drum and bass will come on, I'll be like, oh my God, I needed this energy. Like I
yeah,
needed
right.
this.
It's
And other
mad.
times, it's like sad, like emo songs from my emo era, and I'm like, oh my God, I needed to feel this emotion today.
Oh my
Like
God, absolutely. Yeah.
it's crazy. I love that. I'm
I
definitely gonna play that
I
after
truly
this.
I don't believe in much. Like I don't believe in like well, not that I don't believe. Let me start that again. Truly, it's not that I don't believe in the universe, I don't believe this, but like that song was meant to find me at that time on the tube. Like
Yeah.
I
Wow.
never needed that song more than I did. And it is so weird. Sometimes like me and my partner will be sitting on the sofa or like I'll be having a rubbish day and we would just be doing housework. Talk It Up will come on and I'll be like, that's funny. Like, why did you cue that song? And he was like, nope, didn't cue that song. Like that song's just playing. Like it was
Wow.
there are some moments I'm like, oh, that's so weird. I really clearly
Wow.
need to hear it and to have that kind of boost. So,
This must be some song. I'm excited.
God, I hope you like it. Otherwise, you can be like, oh, Charlotte, it's really crap.
Great. So I'm going to go and listen to that song after. Um, but in the meantime, tell me something, and this is just for fun. This isn't for inspiration. It's
Okay.
just for fun, guys. So tell us something that really annoys you. It can be anything in life. Like what gives you the ick? What irritates you?
So I
I've
have
got
two.
lots.
Yeah.
Go
I
on.
thought I'd do one work and one life. So my work one
Perfect.
is when someone makes a really overcomplicated and unnecessary spreadsheet. So like if you like type something in and then it just like blows up the whole thing, like you cannot if you do a value wrong, like the whole entire thing is just like desolate. Like you can't use it anymore. It really like a spreadsheet just needs to plus and do a few currency exchanges. Like it really doesn't need to be much. So that's something that I just can't get on board. I'm sure people are so amazing at their spreadsheets, but I am like, no, please. Like I just need something that adds up equals sum that'll have me done. And then
I feel that.
my other one is life is when people don't let you off the tube before they try and get back on again. So like
Oh my
it
goodness.
it drives me
Yes.
insane. And they almost they look at you like you're the problem when you're just trying to get off the tube. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so annoying. But actually, if you just let me off and then you can come on the tube. So that's my ick.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, I agree with that so much. So many times though, I've been the one waiting to get on the tube, and I always politely stand to the side. I can see there's
Yeah.
a little old lady coming off, there's someone with a pushchair, whatever, because I tend to get the overground ones with the big wide doors. So you'll have
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
family getting off, and I'm like, okay, let them get off. Like, we're in no rush. The tube's not going to leave without me. And then people stood next to me are like forcing their way on.
Yeah.
Why? Like,
It's
what?
like when you're on the overground or the underground, people just forget that everyone's like human, living their own lives. Like, just
Yeah.
let me off my tube and
I just
let's
think it's rude.
yeah.
Wait your turn. Literally
Yeah,
wait your turn. Oh my God, I hate rudeness. Literally.
definitely.
Um, yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with the spreadsheets as well. I think, do you know what? I'm definitely a spreadsheet girl. I love making a spreadsheet. And I tend to make a big spreadsheet for everything that I'm doing just so it's all in one place and I can kind of
Yeah.
look at everything, but I'm not about to be sending that to everyone, getting them involved in all my spreadsheets. Like people just need to know this like snippet of information they need. That's it.
Absolutely. It's just
I
formulas that scare me. It's a me problem. I understand. I just too much. I just can't deal with it.
we
It's
don't
so
need to overcomplicate it though. The overcomplicated
exactly.
formulas that no one else fucking understands is just not.
I just can't. No, not for me.
Um, okay, great. I love that. I agree with both of those. I have a lot more that I could add, but those are great. Those are great. Um, and I guess have you got any kind of advice or tips or wisdom for all the listeners just to take away before we wrap up?
So, someone told me something once that was really important, and I've always thought about it and always tried to share it with people, kind of as
Yeah.
much as I wanted to. So, as much as I wanted to do. Let me start again. So someone told me something once, and I've always shared it with anyone and everyone that would listen, about this thing called the golden triangle. Okay,
Okay.
so it's basically three sides, and you use it to decide things like in your life, or mostly I've always used it with jobs to take on as well. So it's, if say for example you've got a job offer and you've used your golden triangle, so your first one is it good financially? The second
Okay.
one is it good personally? So is it like a passion project? Is it like something that really kind of speaks to your values of your work? And then the third one is it good like experience, kind of elevate you in your career?
Yeah.
So the ideal is obviously all three, but not a lot of like jobs offer all three, and you can kind of
Yeah.
understand why, and that's how you reassess what's important to you. But basically, you should always aim for at least two. So if it's potentially a job that's not great pay but low money, but actually really speaks to your personal values and would be a fantastic step up in the industry, take it. Like great.
Yeah.
If it's a job that is really really well paid and like okay fine, it's going to really like level you up in experience but not quite something you want like personally, is that
Yeah.
something you're willing to forfeit to then get that step up in the industry and get some financial? And then if it's like experience, if it's like personal and money as well, is that something you want to have but then you're not going to go anywhere in your career until you've done that, so then you can step up? So I always
Yeah.
use it when I'm assessing different jobs or different opportunities that kind of come my way to figure out if it's something that is for me, or potentially I can kind of skip for now if it's not kind of serving the needs that I want at the time.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. I'm gonna steal everything that you've said today. Everything that you've said, I'm stealing. That's great. I think I can definitely apply that. Even in terms of this podcast itself, like financially, it's not paying my bills, let's be serious. But it fulfills the other two things. So it's like it's worth it, and you can assess it based on, like you said, what's important to you at that time in life. Do you need money right now, or do you really need to nourish your soul right now? Like what's important to you at that time? I love that. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
definite.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
as long as you
so.
follow the path
No, God.
you love, you're sorry. Just yeah, as long as you follow the path of things you love, the rest will fall into place.
Exactly. Oh, I believe that so much at the moment. 100%. I have loved this chat, Charlotte. It's been so therapeutic, lovely to catch up. It's been amazing. Thank you so, so much for agreeing to be on the Inspo Pod. I
No
am
problem.
thrilled to have had you on, and I've really enjoyed our chat. And let's meet for coffee or wine or margarita soon, for
Bethany,
sure.
we're gonna meet for a bike ride. That's what we're gonna meet for.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were going to say for like aerial hooping or whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah.
call it. Not, I'm not that skilled, no. Bike ride, yes. Bike ride with wine or coffee at the end. Perfect. Let's do that.
Fantastic. Lovely. Thank you
Amazing.
so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And if no one else has taken the time to say, I'm also very, very proud of you and for stepping out of your
Oh.
comfort zone, creating this podcast. It couldn't have been easy. It must feel amazing to kind of be doing something that you really love. So well done as well.
Thank you so, so much. That means the world. And, I'm super proud of you as well. And you've inspired me. So without you, I may not even be here. So in this
Oh,
podcast.
shut
So
up.
You know, there's women in my life that inspire me to get where I want to be. So this podcast may only be here because of people like you. So thank you so much.
We're with
Enjoy
you
the
all
rest
the
of your
way.
day.
Thank
And
you
we'll
very much.
catch up soon.
See you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Charlotte. Bye. So, disclaimer, since this episode was recorded with Charlotte, her job has completely changed and progress has been made. So tune in soon for our second episode where we'll get more inspiration, more helpful tips, and a whole new story about where she's at now. Really look forward to seeing you soon.